birth of political parties. The Federalists in Federalist Paper number 10, led by Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison, argued that a tyranny of the majority could threaten the economic fiber of the nation. They believed that the new Constitution, through its checks and balances and the separation of the three branches of government, would ensure the protection of the minorities. Through a series of articles published as the Federalist Papers and signed by a pseudonym Publius, they outlined the necessity of government that would be forced to compromise as a result of the separate powers of each branch. They also felt that the Constitution had enough safeguards built in for individuals. The Constitution gave each state full faith and credit, as well as a republican form of government. In addition, as the Federalists were quick to point out, the prohibition of the passage of ex post facto laws that were retroactive in nature, and bills of attainder laws that dictated prison sentences for accused who were not given a trial, and the prohibition of suspending the writ of habeas corpus, or the guarantee of individual due process rights, gave individuals protection against a tyrannical federal government. Typically, the Federalists represented the upper class, bankers, and rich large property owners. Their economic philosophy was clearly expressed through the Federalist Papers. The Anti-Federalists, led by the newly emerging middle class, had George Mason and Richard Henry Lee as their chief spokesmen. In a rival publication to the Federalist Papers, Pennsylvania Packet, and Letters from the Federal Farmer, and through individual essays penned under the name of Brutus, they argued that the principles of the Declaration of Independence would be eroded by the new Constitution. They felt that the Constitution would firmly establish an economic elite and would create the potential for an abusive federal government, especially in the area of protecting individual rights. The Anti-Federalists insisted that a Bill of Rights had to be part of the new Constitution. Otherwise, a powerful president supported by the Congress could easily abuse the civil liberties of the individual. Additionally, the sovereignty of the states became a concern even with the guarantees provided. Nowhere was this argument more heated than in New York. The Anti-Federalists prevented the approval of the Constitution under Madison and Hamilton until Madison and Hamilton guaranteed that the first Congress would approve a Bill of Rights. Typically, the Anti-Federalists represented the farmers and the so-called common people. They rejected the elitist base represented by the Federalists.